No carbonless solution exists for visual artists anywhere. For New York artists, no matter the choice of medium, one thing is certain: it won't impact New York City landfills because they no longer exist. I'm at the West Side Community Garden for the spectacular Tulip Festival. Back in November, volunteers planted thousands of bulbs to have them bloom in time for Earth Day and pay homage to the birds and the bees. Turns out that nutritionally, the farmer's market tomato wins out over the supermarket tomato. And you can literally taste the difference. Welcome to Christine Stoddard's New York. This episode, I'm bringing you to the historic Sears Roebuck & Co. building in Flatbush, Brooklyn. It's pretty stunning. Let's take a look. New York State has a new uncontested divorce process. It's super streamlined, less time. Good afternoon, I'm Christine Stoddard. Good evening, I'm Christine Stoddard. Thank you for being with us. Una demanda presentada para detener las deportaciones ordenadas por el presidente Donald Trump. And now we have a scene from The Tempest. We have two trained Shakespearean actors who are performing off-book. And then we have Aaron, who told me he read The Tempest once in high school. Hello, you are watching or listening to Badass Lady Folk. I'm your host, Christine Stoddard, and this episode, my guest is Laura. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you are an actress, a comedian, a TikToker extraordinaire, and a donor-conceived advocate.
Perfect.
What does that mean?
So absolutely.
How did the bagpipe even come to be? What is it? Well, you've been watching Christine Stoddard's New York. It's getting a little festive, shall we say, here at Coney Island. Every week, Ibrahim Ayu gathers at Sunday school and shares his struggles as a formerly incarcerated person with a mental health diagnosis.
So that's a personal example.
2 years ago, while on parole, Ayu attacked a police officer. At the time, he hadn't been taking his medication for bipolar disorder.
It looked very dire for me. A lot of my lawyers told me that I was going to do at least 7 years incarceration, so it was definitely a trying time.
Instead, a defense attorney and a district attorney referred him to mental health court. A social worker and psychiatrist determined that Ayu had serious mental illness, but wasn't a public safety threat. He was put on a treatment plan and told that if he followed through, he wouldn't go to prison.
And it was a total change because instead of trying to punish me and trying to, make me feel as though I was less than or other than, the goal of the court was mainly to show me that they wanted me to be a part of the community.
Mental health advocates want state legislators to pass the treatment, not jail bill. It would set up more mental health courts across the state, which could help over 3,500 people each year receive treatment instead of a prison sentence. Roughly half of the people incarcerated in New York struggle with mental illness. Critics worry that mental health courts don't have enough supervision or accountability.
We need to make sure that we have guardrails, make sure that the people that are amenable to treatment are getting into the treatment programs, getting the treatment they need, and those that pose a threat to public safety, we need to hold them accountable so that other people aren't hurt or victimized in the community.
Ayu says he's reached this point in his life directly due to mental health court.
But mental health court switched the whole paradigm, and it worked.
Today, Ayu gives back as a pastor and through empowering families through his nonprofit, the Nat Turner Rebel Development Organization. In Brooklyn, Christine Stoddard, CJS News. On Monday, Columbia Journalism School hosted a mayoral forum. Democratic nominee hopefuls Adrienne Adams, Michael Blake, Whitney Tilson, Jessica Ramos, and Zelnor Miri all participated. Plus, there was independent Jim Walden. But the real tea, every candidate was asked about Columbia, their thoughts on federal funding cuts.
As mayor of this city, it would again be my responsibility to speak out against these federal cuts.
I think we have to utilize the 10th Amendment in the same way to protect our local institutions and ensure that there are no unconstitutional grabs.
And what about banning face coverings during protests?
Would you have sent in the NYPD here into campus? No.
But sending in the NYPD to harm students, Hell no, that's not what any mayor should be doing.
Yes, I know that's not going to win me many fans in the room, but again, I fully support peaceful protest as much as I agree with it. When it comes to storming buildings and vandalism and so forth, I would have liked to think campus security there should have been more campus security. It was creating a very unsafe environment for Jewish students.
And what about banning face coverings during protests?
Face coverings has never been a good idea. This is why we got rid of it with the KKK. This is what allows people to go from speech to hate conduct because there's no consequences. Face coverings are a bad policy regardless of who the protesters are.
That statistic shocked Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso, especially since he's a dad. So he's funding maternal health with a big chunk of his budget, more than $45 million.
I want to make Brooklyn the safest place in all of New York City for Black women to have babies.
Reynoso's money is helping 3 public Brooklyn hospitals renovate their women's health services spaces. A total of $50,000 will go to several local nonprofits. Expecting Relief got $5,000 to provide diapers and baby clothes, plus workshops that teach infant CPR.
If these services are made known to the mothers, it would definitely help to decrease the mortality and the morbidity rates of infant child death and maternal death as well.
The funding helps, and so does awareness. Ruby, a Bushwick mom, says people need to understand what it feels like when a doctor or nurse dismisses you.
Like, they'll judge you before they know who you are. And I think that's a lot of the reasons how certain things happen, because it's like, oh, here comes another Black girl coming in.
Holly Harper routinely faced racism at the doctor's office.
Even before I had babies, I had gynecologists that would say terrible things to me, like terrible things to me. So when I had a baby, I was like, oh, wow, I guess racism just follows you for every phase of life.
In 2021, the city started offering doula services to income qualifying mothers. Mary Powell Thomas, director of the initiative, says many mothers choose doulas on the advice of trusted friends.
And another reason, honestly, is fear. A lot of our clients have heard the stories and the statistics, and they say, I don't want to be another Black woman who's a statistic.